being fully involved in the SEO process. And don't worry, as I continue, we're going to understand exactly what that means. So let's dive in. An overview of search engine optimization. Yeah. So SEO, what exactly is SEO and what's the point of SEO? SEO is basically a strategy for distribution. I think that is probably the easiest way to describe it. It is the art of creating content or setting up your website in such a way that anyone can find it. And by anyone, I mean people that are using search engines, in particular Google. And as we probably know, search engines are not just Google is not the only search engine in the world, and it's not the only place where you can find search engines. You can find search engines on YouTube, on social media platforms, and however, native search engines like Google are incredibly important, or at least incredibly valuable to creators, because you see them as a space where you have lots of people visiting. I think last time I checked, daily. Sorry about that. Last time I checked, daily visits to Google was probably around, I think, a couple of hundred of millions per day. And so you can imagine that you have lots of people visiting a particular website, lots of eyeballs, lots of people that are looking for what you can offer, even if you don't even know it yet. So we're going to dive into how you as a content creator or you as a marketer or you as basically someone that is selling something or ask someone to sell. You're going to see how you can boost your website traffic and reach a wider audience. So the agenda, we're going to dive into how SEO works. That's intro to SEO, the basics of keyword search, how to write SEO-friendly content, and there will also be a Q&A session. So what exactly is search engine optimization? And yeah, so you probably know most of this because I want to assume that most people that are on this call probably do have some experience with search engine optimization, or at least know exactly what search engine optimization is. However, for the sake of people that might not know, I'm going to just do a brief overview. So SEO is the practice of optimizing web content to improve its visibility in search engine results pages. And for people that don't know, search engine result pages are basically the pages you see after you search for a query online. So when you open your Google, your browser, or your Google app, or however way you access, or even Bing, however way you access the search engine, when you type in the query and the results you see, that's what we refer to as the search engine results page. So SEO is the practice of making your content show up on this page, and not just show up, but show up at the top, or at least as close to the top as possible, so that more people can find your work or your article or your website. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's a process of improving websites or content to rank higher in search engine results page. Now, when people search for relevant, yeah, can we just chill? I'll give us an opportunity to ask questions later, but so that we don't slow down, let's just keep up this flow. So when people search for relevant terms, your content appears at the top, driving more organic traffic. So let's break it down a little. I actually wrote a very fantastic illustration that I think might help you understand exactly what it is. Now, imagine you have a fantastic website or a blog post. Let's say you've written the best article the world can see, like it's your greatest creation, but no one can find it. That's where SEO comes in. SEO is basically like putting up a big flashing sign. You take the biggest, brightest halogen lamp you can find, and you put it outside your online store or outside your website, so people searching for what you offer can easily discover you. And by optimizing your content with relevant keywords and following best practices, you increase your website visibility and attract more visitors organically without relying solely on paid advertising. Now, I want you to take notice of relevant keywords and best practices. As an SEO, those two concepts are what are going to guide. Those two concepts are going to guide basically your entire creation process, and they're going to guide you into. I'm so sorry. I think someone is.
This guy wants to suck breast. I like that.
You have a question?
Hi, Omowumi. Please mute your mic. Thank you. Sorry, Fair.
All right. So those two concepts, relevant keywords and following best practices, those two concepts are basically what concern you as an SEO. And I think right now everything might seem a little vague, and you're probably thinking, what exactly is this guy talking about? But as we proceed, we're going to find out exactly what I mean by relevant keywords and following best practices. But I still want us to understand the basics before we just dive into writing, because, like I said, as an SEO content writer, you are not just a writer. You are, how can I describe it? You are basically a marketer and a writer rolled up into one. Because, like as I mentioned before, SEO is creating content with discoverability, visibility in mind. And yes, so what's the importance of SEO to content writers as well as businesses? SEO increases organic traffic, it enhances online visibility. That means more people can see your website or see your content. It improves brand awareness. That this is particularly important to businesses. Businesses, maybe businesses that are not even focused on sales, both businesses that are looking to make sales, like that are selling stuff, or businesses that are either are offering services, maybe not services that you pay for. Take a business like Piggyvest. You're not exactly paying for the service, but they are offering their service to you. Those businesses need brand awareness. They need people to know about their brand, and SEO can be a great way to achieve that. Like I said, you have millions, hundreds of millions of people visiting search engines every single day, people from around the world, and that's billions of eyeballs every month. Like in a year, you are running into basically almost uncountable number of people visiting the search engine. So basically, SEO is just you taking a slice out of that pie, out of all people that are visiting search engine. You are trying to reach a specific group or a couple of them to achieve your goals and drive brand awareness. Now, SEO also boosts credibility and authority. Say you are searching for anything at all, and a brand pops up, and you notice that, okay, let's say you're searching for how to save money in Nigeria, and let's say Piggyvest pops up. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring up Piggyvest a lot, because I work there. But let's imagine you are searching for how to save money in Nigeria, and Piggyvest pops up, and you don't know anything about Piggyvest, and the information they provide is really great. And then the next day you search for something like, oh, what is financial discipline? And Piggyvest also pops up, and you keep searching for finance-related terms, and you notice that, yes, we're going to get the PDF after this session. The slides will be. I already sent a link to the slides actually, so you can just download it. So, like I was saying, you search for what is financial discipline, Piggyvest pops up. You search for multiple things about finance and savings and investments, and you notice that a particular website or a particular business keeps popping up. Subconsciously or even consciously, you start to more or less rate this website or this business. You start to trust it because they keep offering you information that you find important, valuable information. They keep satisfying your search intent. And more on that, search intent is very, very important in SEO, and we'll talk about that even further. But I just want you to know that SEO is a great way to boost credibility and authority. And it also obviously drives conversions and sales, because if more people are visiting your website, the chance that more people will actually either buy from you or use your services or click a link or whatever it is you want to use it to do, it increases. As most of us know, businesses are a numbers game. Like everything, more or less, is a numbers game. The more people that see you, the more people that access your website, the better your chances, or the higher your chances of actually reaching your sales goals or converting. And SEO obviously is a cost-effective marketing strategy. And I'll actually talk about why it's a cost-effective marketing strategy even further. Now, for most people, I think some people here are actually bloggers, and a couple of people might actually also work in markets, and maybe some people might just be interested in trying to grow their own websites using SEO. Now, SEO is probably one of the cheapest and maybe longest lasting marketing strategies you can implement if done right. Because SEO, when you create content and put it on the internet, if you don't have any issues with your website, if you don't have any issues with your hosting, that content will stay for years. I've Googled things and I'm seeing content from 1990 something, 2005. These are content, these are articles that have been written probably before I was even conceived, and they are still helpful today. And the crazy thing about SEO is that it's a create once with benefits for a long time kind of situation. So you create content today, it ranks today, and if it's well optimized and if it is well written, that's where you as an SEO content writer, that's where you come into the mix. If it's well written, well optimized, you can reap the benefits for years or decades to come. So how exactly does SEO offer these benefits? So let benefits rather. So let's break it down. Now, like I mentioned, everything is basically a numbers game. Now, higher search rankings mean more people see your content, leading to increased website traffic and brand awareness. So if you have more and more content ranking at the top of SERP, like your content is ranking number one for so many queries, more and more people can see it. And obviously more and more people will actually like click on your link and visit your website. And if your content is well written and is engaging and solves their problem, and if your business can actually also solve their problem, you'll see like crazy leads, sales, and overall growth in your website. And SEO is also, like I mentioned, is also a cost-effective marketing strategy compared to paid advertising, as it focuses on attracting organic traffic over time. So organic traffic, I think most of us know what organic traffic is. It's basically just organics, people visiting your website just because like you can solve their problem. They're not visiting it because you are putting links in Snapchat or you're not putting ads out there. It's because they're searching for something and they encountered it, and yes, they basically found you. It's not a gimmick of any kind, more or less.
He said that, so he was on channel news, and it's
sorry, please remember to mute your mics, guys.
He said that the whole
all right. So the logic of search engine. Sorry, guys. Please remember to mute your mic so that you don't interrupt everyone else. Sensei Modade, I think.
What's it called? Leading from Lagos.
Right. So let's just.
Hi, Sensei Modade. Please mute your mic.
All right, let's just.
Everybody.
Let me check. So that people will not keep interrupting us. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so the magic of search engine. Now, like I mentioned before, as an SEO writer, you are not just a writer. You are, I think the best way to describe it is probably a magician, but not magic as far you are using jazz or like you are conjuring spells or whatever. You are more or less interfacing with algorithms. But in this case, when I say algorithms and when I'm saying search engines, I'm going to focus on Google because Google has basically the largest share of search as of the last time. I think it was like 98 or 97 or 98%. So I'll just always mention Google. So as an SEO, as an SEO writer, you are interfacing with Google and understanding the algorithm and creating content that doesn't just satisfy the algorithm that the algorithm loves, obviously, but also that helps humans, that helps searchers solve their problems. You are both a problem solver, a writer, as well as a magician with Google. And don't worry, we'll understand exactly what that means, but let's just keep diving in. Now, how do search engines work? Now, you might think that I'm a content writer or I'm an SEO content writer or I want to learn SEO content writing. Why are you telling me how search engines work? But truth is, you cannot properly understand how to create content that ranks or that ranks on search engines rather without understanding how these search engines work. If you understand how search engines work, when you are creating content, you have this at the back of your mind and you'll be able to like more or less use the way these search engines work to your advantage. Now, because this course is for beginners, I will not dive into I won't dive deep into how these search engines work, but I'll just provide an overview. If you want to understand even better, I'll advise you probably take a course online, read a couple of articles. There's so much resources out there. But basically, just know that search engines there are 3 steps to how search engines work. The first step is crawling. Now, search engines use bots, also known as crawlers, to discover web pages. So you created a content, you've written an article, you posted it on your blog, and it's out there in the world, it's on the internet. It's not magic that people just see it they just see that it's ranking. No. what happens is that search engines like Google actually have, they call them spiders or bots or crawlers. They are basically always like crawling, going over the internet, like, discovering new things. And the way they move is actually from link to link. Like I said, when you read online, you understand exactly what this means. But I just want you to understand that, it's not as if this content is just magically appearing on Google. What happens is that Google is actually going out and examining the internet. They are trying to see what is out there. And then when they discover your web page, there's the next step is indexing. Now, crawlers follow links and index the content of these web pages. And these web pages or your article is stored in a vast database. Excuse me. Now, when they find your article is actually ranking. It's up there. It's not ranking, rather, it's out there. You've published, you hit the publish button. And they crawled the internet, they discovered your article. And now what Google does is that indexes it, it adds it to a database of already existing content. This database is not like 1 gig, it's not like 2 gigs, it's not like 30 gig. It's basically more or less a snapshot of the entire, or at least a large part of the internet. And they add it to their database. Then this is probably the most important part, ranking. Then search algorithms then analyze the index pages to rank them based on relevance and user intent. Now, as an SEO writer, ranking is probably part of the mix that is most important to you, because I highlighted two things: relevance and user intent. This is now I'm going to try and highlight certain keywords throughout this course so that we understand exactly what's magical, what our place is in the mix. Now, search engines, search algorithms rather, analyze index pages and rank them based on how relevant they are to search queries and user intent. Like, what exactly are users trying to search for? And in later part of this course, we're going to dive exactly into user intent and what exactly user intent means to. Sorry, please, guys, let's not forget. Let's remember to mute our mic so that we don't interrupt me, please. Okay, so let's dive into next one. So I actually even had a great explanation. So search engines work tirelessly behind the scenes to deliver the best possible results for your searches. Now they use crawlers, which are like digital spiders that constantly explore the web, discovering new pages and following links. Once a page is found, the content is indexed. That means it's stored in a massive database. Finally, complex algorithms analyze these index pages to rank them based on the relevance to your search query, as well as user intent, what exactly you are trying to find. Now, as an SEO writer, this part it is what you are very, very interested in. This is what you want to. I don't want to use the word manipulate, but this is what you want to tweak your content to solve. You want to ensure that it's relevant to a certain search query and satisfies user intent. And we understand what this means as we proceed further. But this course would not be helpful if I actually did not dive into the key components of SEO. Now, this is probably, I'll make this very brief. Now, we can divide SEO into three parts, actually, at least three main parts: on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO. On-page SEO is also known as on-site SEO and is the practice of optimizing web pages and their content for both search engines and users. Now, the features or the key points in on-page SEO include keywords, content writing / copywriting, content quality, meta tags, internal linking, and external linking. Now, on-page SEO is your domain as an SEO writer. Like, you need to understand SEO, on-page SEO if you want to be a great SEO writer. Don't worry, it's not complicated. It is most of on-page SEO is actually SEO content writing. Trust me. And as you can see, we went into keywords, content writing. Keywords is basically keyword research, topic research, SERP analysis, and content writing is content writing itself, the writing process. Content quality, this is basically a mix of keywords and content writing. Meta tags, we'll see how meta tags work. Internal linking your internal links, external linking, external links. Don't worry, these are things we're going to go over, so don't be overwhelmed. Let's just keep this information at hand so that when I'm explaining certain things, it doesn't just fly over our heads. But let's also just talk about off-page SEO. Off-page SEO involves all the activities that improves your website search engine rankings without directly changing the site. Now, where on-page SEO focuses on the content you can see, like the article, the written word you can see, meta tags, the keywords you are working with, the internal links, things you are clicking on that are taking you to another place in the website, links you are clicking on are taken outside the website. Off-page SEO focuses on things you do not see at all. Now, the two most important parts of off-page SEO are backlinks and social signal. Backlinks are basically people that are linking from their own site to your own site. So people are linking from their own blogs, from their own websites, wherever it is they're coming from, back to your own site. And social signals are basically, is everything cool?
Hi, AK, please mute your mic. Please.
Okay, so guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. I accidentally muted myself. All right. So, like I was saying, off-page SEO focuses on backlinks. That's what are linking to you, as well as backlinks. We also sometimes call it link building. So, if you have backlinks, link building, don't let anybody deceive you. They are more or less the same thing. Just link building is more of a process of acquiring backlinks. Social signals are, things like your social media, what they call your social media marketing, things like, basically everything else that are just not related to the website itself. Things like basically like event management that do not directly relate to your website, but help how can I describe it? Help the way your website looks or the authority of your website or the authority of your blog. So I'm going to use blog and website interchangeably so that, we basically understand what it means. And yeah, so those are social signals. And technical SEO. Technical SEO is probably the most, not, I won't say most important, but it's a very important aspect of SEO because it focuses on improving a website's technical aspects to improve search engine rankings. On-page SEO, off-page SEO, technical SEO, all of them they work together to improve search engine rankings. You don't just focus on-page SEO and you forget everything else. No, you do everything together. But the difference is this: technical SEO is usually more or less a one-off thing. You do technical SEO maybe when you are starting out your website, when you are doing maybe big things like migrating your website to a new domain or new hosting platform, all of that. It's not always something you do like continuously, unlike on-page and off-page SEO. On-page SEO, because you obviously are almost always creating content. You're almost always putting out articles. Sure, you feel. Now, the aspects of technical SEO, you see things like site speed, mobile friendliness, credibility, user experience. Now, I won't focus on all these things, and if we want to dive into our off-page and technical SEO work, I'll also include. Maybe I'll share some links after this class so that you can explore them. And I also know that I think there's one very, very, very nice course. I think it's free, or at least you can audit it rather on Coursera that you can check out. After the class, I'm going to share it. But for now, let's just focus on SEO content writing and on-page SEO. Now, obviously, it's always great for us to remember why we are doing it because you don't just do SEO for SEO's sake. Now, what can SEO help you do? SEO can help you attract targeted traffic. It can help you build brand awareness. It can help you generate leads and sales. And more or less, maybe most importantly, it can help you see or it provides you with long-term results to your marketing efforts. Now, let's finally dive into SEO content writing, the basics of keyword research. What exactly are keywords? Keywords are the foundation of SEO writing. They are the terms people type into search engines to find what they are looking for. By strategically incorporating relevant keywords throughout your content, you signal to search engines that your content is relevant to specific search queries. The key is to find keywords that your target audience is actively searching for, and there are tools available to help you with keyword research. A good starting point is to brainstorm terms related to your topic and consider using a mix of broad, that's short tail, and more specific, also known as long tail keywords. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to first go over some of the basics. You're probably going to hear my voice very well. I'm going to go over the basics of keyword research and tell you some terms you need to know. Then afterwards, I'm going to show you exactly how to perform keyword research. Because, like I said, as an SEO writer, you're not just a writer, but you're also a marketer or a magician. There's a lot of terms drummed up into one. So the best way to just know that you're an SEO person. All right, so let's see. Introduction to keyword research. Keyword research, like I mentioned before, involves finding and analyzing search terms that will enter into search engines. It is necessary because it helps writers and marketers to, one, understand user intent, two, identify keyword opportunities, and three, it helps guide content creation. You cannot just start creating content. You cannot just wake up and say, okay, I'm trying to optimize my article for search, or let me optimize it for cocoa butter. Like, let me just start writing cocoa butter. But I'm actually doing keyword research to determine, okay, why exactly am I doing this? Does this relate to my business? Does this relate to my brand? Does this help? Let's remember to mute our mics, guys. Like I said, we'll have lots of there'll be opportunity to ask questions. So let's not interrupt anyone else. All right. So you don't just start and say, well, I want to just start writing. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, cocoa butter. Let me just start writing article around cocoa butter. No, you have to actually first do keyword research. Now, if you're an SEO writer, if what you're focusing on is just purely SEO writing, you might not always be fully involved in the keyword research process. However, it's important that you understand how it works so that it's so, like, if you see at the third point, it guides content creation, because this is what guides content creation. So it helps that you understand how it works. So even if you're not fully involved, at least at the beginning, at the start of your career, or maybe if you are just focusing on writing and not anything else, it might not necessarily be that important to you. But if you're going to be great at writing keyword articles that rank on the web, it's important, it's necessary that you know what keyword research is and how it works. So, tools for keyword research. You have SEMrush, which is a comprehensive keyword research tool. You have Google Keyword Planner, which is a field tool by Google for finding and analyzing keywords. You have Ahrefs, which is similar to SEMrush and is also an SEO tool. You have Google itself, the search engine. Yes, Google is also a great tool for keyword research. And finally, you have Google Search Console, which is a site reporting and analytics tool, rather, and which can also be very helpful when you're doing keyword research. Now, this is where I'm going to fire up. All right, can everybody see my new screen?
Yeah.
Can you see my
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to leave this. I think most people have access to the slides, so you can just follow along on the slides and follow my screen. Just focus on what I'm doing, Sha. So I'm going to show you how to do keyword research, but I need a suggestion. What should we actually do keyword research about? I think I mentioned cocoa butter. Should we do that?
Tennis shoes.
Yeah, let's
Tennis
do cocoa
shoes.
Yes, we can do that.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going to start out by using SEMrush to do keyword research. And I'm sure because I've talked a lot, most people might not understand what I mean, but I hope this would actually help. So the first step is obviously to visit SEMrush. I've already logged in, so you won't see certain. Sorry, can you give me a sec, please? I'm having some people over there. Please give me a sec.
Hi, Amina. Please mute your mic.
Hi guys, sorry about that. Yeah, so let's go back to using. So first thing you want to do, you log in. So the good thing is that this version of um, SEMrush I'm using is free. So this is basically what most people should experience as well. So you log into SEMrush and then you go over to this part. Yeah, this keyword research. You click
How
on
are you, Linda?
keyword overview.
Hi, Amina. Please mute your mic. Please. Thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you. All right. So because this is actually a free version of SEMrush, we won't get lots of um, benefits from it. But I actually just want to use it because I know most people actually probably have experienced SEMrush or read of SEMrush. I just want to so we can see what it looks like. So how do you do keyword research with SEMrush? It's actually very simple. You open SEMrush, click on keyword overview, head over here, and type the keyword you are trying to optimize for. Now, cocoa butter. Now you must realize that there are two. So you put in the search terms, then you pick the country. I'm going to just focus on Nigeria because we're in Nigeria. You can pick a specific location, but we're just going to focus on Nigeria and then click search. Now I want us to realize something. Earlier I mentioned short tail keywords and long tail keywords. Now a great way to understand this is that short tail keywords are broad terms with high search volume. I'm going to explain what all these things. I probably should have explained it at first, but I just want us to just dive into it quickly so we can understand. And yeah, where I am. So search volume is basically the number of searches per month. So if you look at cocoa butter here, you see this volume tab here. It's showing that we have that means you are getting about 1,600 queries from Nigeria alone every month. However, from the entire world, you are getting about 92,700 queries from all the world. You can see from the US, you are seeing 27.1, from India 9.9k, from the UK 9.9k, from Australia 2.9k, from Canada 2.9k, from Nigeria 1.6, from other countries combined is about 38.4 thousand. It became means thousand, obviously. Now you might think that okay, what exactly are we even doing here? And the reason I decided to just dive into this is so that I can explain. So when you are creating content, you are usually create content around a central idea. You don't just start writing unless you are maybe possessed or on drugs or something. But you usually create content around a central idea. You are usually trying to pass a certain message or solve a problem or provide certain information. It's always around one central idea. So let's assume you are a you sell what do you call it, skincare products, and people have started seeing the benefits of cocoa butter, and maybe it's everything's getting super expensive, and people are starting to look for alternatives. And you know for a fact that cocoa butter is really great, especially for black skin and everything. And however, you are trying to figure out a way to connect with people that might be interested in cocoa butter. You've tried social media marketing, you are getting lots of people from social media, but you know that there are millions of people out there searching for billions, in fact, queries on Google, and you have to take a piece of the pie. So what you start out by just taking cocoa butter, which is the term a generic, large volume. It's a generic, it's very specific term, and you put it into SEMrush. Now, SEMrush gives you information about the search volume. That okay, is this worth pursuing? Now, that's basically what search volume tells you. That is this term, is this keyword worth pursuing? Like, is it worth it if you create content around it? And if you think about it, actually, you have about 1,600 people searching for the term every month. That is really good. And if you're even a global business, you have about 92,700 people searching for it every single month. That is a very, very great deal. Now, I'm going to break down what the rest of all this data on this tab means. Now, keyword difficulty basically is, as the name suggests, how difficult it might be for you to rank for a specific keyword. Now, keyword difficulty is usually tied to your website. So, for example, for a website like PiggyVest that is really big and impressive, and has lots of traffic and lots of backlinks, and it has a very great SEO profile, this is relatively difficult, about 45% difficult. For a smaller website, maybe if you have a blog and you're just starting out, or your website is, let's say your website is buycocobutterinigeria.com, it's probably new, you just created like 2 months ago, this might be much harder. Might be much harder for you to rank, but it does not mean that it's going to be impossible. In SEO, nothing is impossible. It's just a matter of skill. Well, everything is skill. So, intent. Now, I mentioned earlier before user intent, and I glossed over it because I said we're going to talk about it in detail. And user intent is basically another thing you should focus on as an SEO writer, because the truth is, you don't just create content for creating sake. Like I said, the first thing you focus on is keyword. What central idea am I creating this content around? That's number one. Number two, what are people looking for when they search for this keyword? And that is what user intent is about. And SEMrush, you can actually also analyze I'll show you how to do SERP analysis, but SEMrush also gives you this data, and this can be very helpful. SEMrush tells you that people that are searching for cocoa butter, they want to find an answer to a specific question, and they also want to complete an action. That means if you're someone that is selling cocoa butter, this is great. This is a keyword that is helpful for you, that yes, it is worth pursuing, because people are looking for information about cocoa butter, and they're also looking to more or less maybe buy cocoa butter related products. So it's great. It's worth pursuing. Now, what is CPC? CPC is just very simple. It's cost per click. Is if you decide to not pursue SEO, let's assume you want to start using, let's say, ads. You want to run ads, maybe on Google. It's cost you about 490 naira for per click. So you get, and compared to just using SEO is that means if you're trying to, like, let's say, gain about 10 people, you want 10 people to click your ads, you are spending about almost 5,000 naira. But SEO, if you create your content yourself and do it well, it might cost you far less to gain even more customers in the long run. And like I said, SEO is not just about making direct sales, it's also about building your brand equity. You want people to see you as an authority in a certain space, because there are certain brands that come to mind when you think about so many things. There are brands that come to mind when you think about things like skincare. For me now, when I think about skincare, maybe because I'm still trying to leave the trenches. When I think about skincare, especially when it comes to like face wash, things that come to mind like Dr. Rachel's, Simple. And it's not just because of the SEO. This is like a general example, but because there's basically a lot of social signals out there. If you check online, ask your friends, they are recommending certain things. And just that SEO can be part of that mix if it's done well. Like I said, if you're a blogger, a small business, or even a larger business, because even large businesses focus on SEO, you can use SEO to get people, gain mind share. Basically, you can reprogram people and make people just, when people think about anything, it's you they think about. Think about it. When you think about savings, it's very likely that what comes to your head first is PiggyVest, not even your bank, which is crazy because banks used to be the way people saved. Now, let's scroll down to keyword ideas. Now, obviously, if you are doing SEO writing, you will just write cocoa butter and start writing content. It will be very strange. I probably will not click on a link if you just put cocoa butter and I'll start reading it. Like, I don't understand what happens to cocoa butter. So I think that this brings us to another part of SEO content writing, which is topic research. And topic research is basically a subset of keyword research. So after you've done keyword research, you found relevant content. And what I did to find out cocoa butter was I just thought, I sell skincare. People are interested in cocoa butter and cheaper option. Cocoa butter is really popping. I came up with that keyword by myself. I wrote it down. And then I took the keyword, I plugged it into SEMrush. SEMrush gave me relevant data. Okay, is it worth pursuing? Yes, the volume is good. Both local volume and global volume, very good. Keyword difficulty. It's a little hard, but I can do it. Is it will it help my own goals? Yes, it's informational and transactional. Okay, it satisfies my own goals. Cost per click. Is better for me to run. Is it better for me to run ads or to do SEO? I don't really have money like that. how much am I making from selling cocoa butter like that? Oh, let me just create an article that will run. Okay. So, which brings us to the next part, topic research. What is a great topic that incorporates this keyword, cocoa butter, that people will actually, be interested in? Now, SEMrush actually gives you really, really great ideas that you can actually decide to write about. Now, it shows that there are certain keywords variations that are also there are certain keywords rather that are also related to cocoa butter that also incorporate the cocoa butter keyword. So you see things like Palmer's cocoa butter cream, cocoa butter itself, Nivea cocoa butter. Does Nivea cocoa butter lighten the skin? These are relevant keywords. We also see questions. These are questions that people are actually searching for. Now, questions are very valuable as an SEO writer because they basically give you a snapshot of people's minds. Questions are great as an SEO writer. They make you know what people are looking for because, like I said, it's a search engine. And these days, Google is more or less saying that, we're not just a search engine, we're an answer engine because more and more people are actually searching for, looking for questions. Now, I want you to take notice of, if you notice one thing, cocoa butter itself has search volume of 1.6K and it's a short, it's a very direct, very broad 10 keyword. Cocoa butter, it could be about anything. Now, look at all this. There's Nivea cocoa butter lighting the skin, Arsenal original Palmer's cocoa butter, blah, blah, blah. All of these are smaller search volumes and they are more specific. They are answering specific queries. They are very, what people are looking for. Now, these kind of keywords, they're what we refer to as long tail keywords because they're hyper specific. They are more or less conversion products. These are things that people are very particular about what they are looking to find. But the problem is that usually for most of them, their keywords are usually, their volume rather, are usually much smaller. But that is not a problem. SEMrush does not have a free version. Try sending. Yes, there are other suggestions. I'm just using SEMrush as an example, and later I will show you some other. I will actually share some other suggestions. SEMrush is. I actually just remember they actually don't have a free version. I think for you to do this, you have to have actually either provide your account details or you should have had paid version in the past. And yeah. But just focus on this class. Afterwards, I'll share some other alternatives. But this is one of the best out there. So that's why I just want to use it to explain. So yeah, we're talking about long tail keywords. Now these are long tail keywords because they are hyper specific. They are not just broad terms. They're not just broad queries, rather they are specific queries that people are looking for. And these can actually help you create topic ideas. Now think about it. Does Nivea cocoa butter brighten the skin? How to know original Palmer's cocoa butter? Now remember, who are we? We're a business, right? We're a business that sells skincare products. And we know that people are starting to embrace cocoa butter infused products because one, it's great for the climate we're in. Black people notice that okay, it's making them shine. I don't know if cocoa butter actually makes. Please don't quote me out there. But we notice that okay, black people say okay, this is great for my skin. It hydrates me better. And then maybe one of our top products is actually Nivea's cocoa butter oil or something. And you say that does Nivea cocoa butter lighten the skin? It's actually great because it has great volume. And this is also another one. Also know original Palmer's cocoa butter also has great volume. And you check your stock, you notice that you're selling both Nivea cocoa butter and Palmer's cocoa butter. You're like, okay, great. This can actually fit into my business goals. Now, one thing I didn't mention before is that great keyword research actually starts from focusing on, I don't think I recorded this session. I think there was an option to record. I don't think I can.
If I don't worry, I'm recording. You can just continue.
Okay. Thank you so much, Usman. All right. So now remember, great keyword research. I didn't mention it before, but I want you to know great keyword research or effective keyword research starts with you thinking about your business or your blog or your website. Who am I? What problem am I trying to solve? You don't start by focusing on the outside and you just want to rank. That is not how you create great content. You create great content by focusing on who is the business I'm writing for. And you might think, okay, as an SEO, that was my own business. And it's actually your business, because you need to know who you're writing for and what they're trying to achieve. So, like in our example now that we're focusing, I'm a skincare business owner. I have a very small business, and I'm trying to get more people to visit my website so I can, in the end, make more sales. And like I said, we found that okay, cocoa butter is great. We've gone through the thought process for that. Also provide some great long tail code. Notice that
I don't know.
please let's not forget to mute. Guys, mute your mic. Chai. All right, sorry about that, guys. And so I hope everyone is following, Sha. So, like I said, we noticed that okay, cocoa butter is in our inventory as well as original Palmer's cocoa butter is also in our inventory. Then we say, okay, these are great keywords we can add to our list. Then I make a list of this. So I add this to my notes. You can write it down. You can write this one as well down. You can write everything down. You know, the point of doing keyword research is to find topics, keywords, as well as topics that can solve your needs or solve your business needs. Then you create content that solves the searcher's needs. It's a little roundabout, but you understand what I mean as we move forward. So SEMrush also offers this. This is a snapshot of the SERP page. That's basically number 1 stem. The articles are ranking number 1 stem right now. You can see you have Britannica, Healthline, Wikipedia, Medical News Today, Skin Food, the Healthline. These are ranking for the keyword cocoa butter. So let me use this opportunity to dive into another keyword research platform, and this is Ahrefs. Now, Ahrefs has what we call Keyword Explorer, and Keyword Explorer is very similar to the same thing that SEMrush has. SEMrush, Ahrefs, these are like the two juggernauts of keyword research. If you are doing keyword research, both of them are very great tools. They're a little pricey. They're very pricey. Usually, we are living in Nigeria. I think the cheapest you can get is probably like $99 per month. But they are very helpful with you trying to get keywords easily, get data about keywords, and move on. Sure you get, especially when it comes to search volume. They are very, very useful. Now let's use the same information as we did before. So see, you can choose Google, YouTube, Amazon, Bing, Yahoo. These are all search engines. You might think, what's YouTube's business here? YouTube actually also has a search engine, a native search engine that is very impressive. And I'm going to talk about that later. But for now, let's just focus on this. We pick Google, pick the search engine we focused on before, and we pick Nigeria. And now let's search. See, so you can see, first thing you notice that keyword difficulty is similar to what SEMrush provided. SEMrush said this was about 55. This one is saying it's 41. Similar. Search volume, similar to what SEMrush provided as well. I think SEMrush was, what was that, 1.5, 1.6? This is 1.2, very similar. And you have something called traffic potential. These are all data that you can use. Global search volume is also 80K. Keyword ideas. You can see cocoa butter, Palmer's cocoa butter, and cocoa butter. These are things that we could add to our keyword list. Now, your keyword list is basically a collection of keywords that pertain to your business or your blog or your website. So you feel it can be very short, it can be very long. Keyword list is usually a mix of short tail keywords and long tail keywords, as well as topics. So you can see questions. Like I said, questions are a gold mine if you are trying to create SEO-centric content, because more and more people are actually typing in exact questions. And when they type in questions, they are looking for answers. If you can provide these answers and also in the process, maybe infuse your product into the mix, it's great. You make sales, they remember you, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So you can see that how to know original Palmer's cocoa butter, how much is Palmer's cocoa butter, how much is Nivea cocoa butter in Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. You also see similar keywords: cream for chocolate skin, face cream, cocoa butter cream, blah, 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 beans, clean fats. These are all relevant information that can help. So similar to what SEMrush had, we also saw this is a list of ranking websites at this time. So you might say, but what if I'm going through SAPA and I cannot access SEMrush and Ahrefs? How can I still do keyword research? How can I find relevant terms? You can use Google. Like I mentioned in my slides, I said Google can also be a great way for you to perform keyword research. And this is a cheat. So while Google might not give you exact data, you might not be able to see numbers. You might not be able to see things like, 1.5K, 3.6K, keyword difficulty. You can still get an idea of what people are searching for concerning your keywords. So how do you do it? You start by going to www.google.com, then searching. Type in, before you search, just type cocoa butter. Now, look at this. You notice that, sorry, give me a sec. Sorry about that, guys. So you notice that these suggestions, they give you a snapshot, not a direct snapshot. They give you a snapshot of what people are searching for related to cocoa butter. You can see cocoa butter cream, cocoa butter, like the exact name, cocoa butter lotion, cocoa butter cream for fresh skin, cocoa butter formula, cocoa butter oil. You can see that they are very related to our business, our skincare business. So you know that, okay, this is in the end low key, it's valuable. I don't have direct data, I don't have full data, but I have an inkling. Then click on search. Now, this is great. We've seen search results. You can see lots of that. I'm going to use that as a great segue into a very important part of SEO. This is SEO for keyword researcher and also SEO as a content writer. This place, I would advise that you actually pay attention to this. This is what we call SERP analysis, search engine result page analysis. And it's a very fancy term for basically you analyzing, as the name suggests, analyzing the search engine result page to gain insight into both your keyword as well as a topic you are writing about. So at this point, because we're still focusing on this keyword, we're doing SERP analysis for a keyword. So you can see that first thing, you notice that they are ranking articles around cocoa butter. And without even clicking the link, this is talking about cocoa butter like as a substance. Then we also go to this people also ask session. That means what are people asking that is related to this direct keyword? What is cocoa butter good for? Does cocoa butter brighten skin? Can you put cocoa butter on your face? Is cocoa butter good for dark skin? Without even having access to SEMrush or Ahrefs or any fancy tool, I already know that this keyword is worth pursuing for my business. If you keep scrolling, if you keep looking at other ranking articles, you see that they are all around cocoa butter benefits for skin. I even see these pictures are about skin, vitamin D, it's about skin. See, cream colored vegetable fats, it's about skin foodie. Everything here is about skin and skincare. So it's worth pursuing. So you can even see that here on this knowledge panel here, you are seeing it as everything is all related to skin. So it's worth pursuing. I am so sorry for the background noise, guys. I apologize. Excuse me. But I hope everyone can hear me, regardless.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yes.
Great. So with this, we reckon that cocoa butter is worth pursuing, and then we can use these people also to actually come up with great topics. Now we know we already had direct topics from SEMrush. SEMrush suggested some great topics. Ahrefs suggested from great topics. Now, without even having access to all those things, I can know that I can write an article just called "What is cocoa butter good for?" and it's something that people that are interested in cocoa butter will also find useful. So if you obviously STRP analysis is not always this direct. Like this is just an example. It's not just that you look at it and say, "Oh, let me just write about this." No, you actually have to even open these articles. You might need to open all the articles that are ranking for that keyword and see what they're talking about. What is their central idea? What exactly they highlight there, and then use that to create your own topic that you feel will be great that will rank. Sure, you feel. Sorry about that. My neighbors have, I don't know, today is Saturday, so their kids are around, and for some reason, I was getting to my apartment, so sorry about the noise, Sha. Um, yeah. So like I said, you might need to open the article. So let me just even open the article. So you can see that this Healthline article, which is like number 2 or number 3, is saying everything you need to know about cocoa butter. What exactly is cocoa butter? Benefits of cocoa butter. What the research says about cocoa butter? How does it work? How does it compare to other moisturizers? How to use it? What are the risks? What are the warnings? Bottom line. See, without using any tool, you already have a great idea. Let's look at what Wikipedia is saying. Wikipedia is ranking. Wikipedia says, oh, it's talking about cocoa butter, the science behind it, how it's extracted, what the benefits are, how people use it, personal care, physical properties. You already have a great idea. Okay, if I want to write an article around cocoa butter, I can direct it to people that are looking to use it for skincare, but I need to make sure that it touches multiple, like it covers cocoa butter in full. So another thing you can do is just look at these people also as you can pick one of them and actually just click on it, since this is a similar keyword that people are interested in. And then you see it's WebMD has health benefit of cocoa butter. Healthline that we clicked on before is also ranking for what's cocoa butter good for. So you already have a great idea. And if you've been following, I'm very sure that right now you already have multiple ideas of what you feel will be great topic ideas. Like you have, your brain should actually be popping with ideas at this point, and you can just come up with anyone you choose. So I'm going to just hold on to this. What is cocoa butter good for? And I'm going to keep it for the future. So let's go back to our slides. So I hope that was actually quite explanatory, and I'll give us room for questions. But let's go back to our slides. And we've gone over how to do keyword research with SEMrush. It was brief, but I hope people understood what I did. And next is how to conduct keyword research with Ahrefs. We've done that. Keyword metrics. I think I mentioned some of them, but these are some definitions. Search volume, like I mentioned before, number of searches per month. Keyword difficulties, how hard it is for your website, your blog, or whatever it is to rank for the keyword. CPC, which is cost per click, cost of paid ads for the keyword. That's if you decide to run ads instead. Clicks, that is potential traffic from the keyword. Now, I kept saying creating keyword lists. Well, like I said, the keyword list is a collection of your short tail keywords, long tail keywords, as well as keyword topic ideas. Now, some tips include focus on long tail keywords. Now, more specific phrases are great because they're usually easier for you to rank for, and it's easier to create content around long tail keywords because they are answering specific questions. Now, you have to consider user intent. What are people interested in? Now, the great way to know user intent without just focusing on things like SEMrush and Ahrefs is to do SERP analysis. Google the keyword you are trying to write about. See what is ranking. If you can see what is ranking, from there you can extrapolate and know what people are looking for, know what information people want from it. Okay, even from there you can know, okay, are people looking for information? Are people looking to make a purchase? Are people looking to go somewhere else? Are they looking to navigate? Are they looking to whatever it is they're interested in? You can know it from SERP analysis. Now, also, you have to mix high and low competition keywords. As I showed you before, some keywords have high volume. Those high volume keywords, they're usually more difficult for you to rank for. And it's expected more people are pursuing it. And usually, it's also always good to go for low to, not go for zero volume keywords, obviously. Also, it's always good for you to go for low competition keywords where people are not really ranking for. Especially, that should be a part of your marketing strategy. You go for things that people are not really looking for at first, and then you can build up from there. Now, how do you master keyword research? Like I said, go beyond search volume. Search volume is extremely important, but go beyond search volume. Consider keyword difficulty as well as your business goals. Like I said, you cannot be selling, you cannot be in the niche of you are selling, what's it called? You're selling skincare products and you're writing content around maybe armors, or you're writing content around maybe me. Like doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't concern your business goals. It doesn't concern your website. You have to focus on keywords that are relevant to your business goals, relevant to your website, and are obviously relevant to your intended audience as well. Then look for long tail keywords with higher conversion potential. Like I said, questions are great. When people are looking for questions, when people are asking questions, they're looking for answers. Nobody asks questions just because they want to ask questions. People ask questions because they're looking for answers. And when they see and when they have answers, and if it's something where you can plug your content or plug your products or plug your website or your podcast, anything it is you are trying to plug in, you can actually get conversion. And then you should use keywords to find related keywords and identify trends. And that's what I showed you with SEMrush as well as Ahrefs. Now, before we jump into this, I wasn't going to. Yeah, I think we still have time now. We still have about 20 minutes. So before we dive in, I want to give. I think this would be a great time for us to ask questions. I know I was moving a little fast. I have a tendency to stop really quickly, and I want to make sure I didn't gloss over anything. So if you have questions, you can just ask it in chat. Just type it out, and let's maybe take like maybe 5-10 minutes, and before we move forward. I know you're probably expecting I will just jump into writing, SEO writing, and everything, but like I mentioned, you can't do SEO writing without understanding the basics of SEO writing, what it's built on. So if you have questions, just ask it, and I'll do my best to answer. So it can be about what I've gone over or what I've taught you. It can be about maybe more questions you had, maybe stuff I haven't covered yet. Sure, feel free, just ask your questions. And I think this is a great time for me to shout out Non-Tech in Tech for making this possible. Thank you, Usman. Thank you, guys. And okay, is there some guides to help determine the best high or low competition keywords to use? There is no exact guide. It is more of a boots on ground situation. So if you are, let me keep using our skincare products example. So let me see the best way to phrase this. You sell skincare products. You are trying to bring traffic to your website. That's the first thing you're trying to do. And you're also trying to get people to buy your skincare product. The best way you can start things is to actually make a list of keywords that are relevant to your business. You need to first start by saying, okay, what are the people I'm looking for? The people I'm looking to. I'm sorry, I'm seeing questions. Okay, so you first think, okay, what keywords are people looking for? What keywords are related to my niche? What keywords are related to my industry? Before you even do any other thing, you need to first sit down and think, what keywords are related to my industry? So beauty, skincare, cocoa butter, bleaching, fair skin. These are all great keywords that are related to your niche. Then you now take the time to actually do keyword research. That's where keyword research comes in. And you look at it, okay, is this keyword actually relevant to my niche? Does it align with my business goals? And then after that, that's when you've done that broad keyword research, you figure out, okay, what are the long tail keywords I can focus on that I know that are also relevant to my business goals. Then you now come up with topics. So it's basically think of it as a funnel. The keyword research process is more or less like a funnel. You start with lots of ideas, like the ideas will be so much, your head wants to explode. Then you take the time to actually do some research. What keywords are actually relevant to my business? Then you do more research. What long tail keywords can I pursue that my audience or my intended audience is interested in? Then you use that to come up with a list of topics. Now, topic research and keyword research are related, but they are not exactly the same thing. Just because you have great keywords does not mean you have great topics. So it's from keywords you develop topics. I hope that helps. So second question from Yenzi Wei. I am so sorry. I hope I'm not messing up your name. Which course would you recommend for an absolute beginner? Where would one begin in terms of topic or specialty? You know what? I'm going to share one right now. Let me see if I can find it. There's a search engine optimization specialization from Coursera that I actually always recommend to people. It's a little long. It's probably take you around, at least Coursera recommends you should take about 2-3 months to complete it, but it is really great. Takes you through the basics of keyword research, and it's the basics you want to go through. So I'm going to share it now. So it's a specialization. I think there are about maybe 5-6 courses there. So you can check it out. So thank you for that question. Where would one begin in terms of topic or specialty? So that the way the courses are structured in that specialization is a good way to go. They'll start with how search engines work, and then you dive into everything from technical SEO to on-page SEO to how algorithms work. It's really interesting, and if you can finish it, you should know your knowledge should be like much better than it is right now. So Temilolowa asked, also when using questions in your SEO content, should you just straight up answer the questions or infuse the questions naturally into the content? This is a beautiful question. And yes, I think Temilolowa is actually, you're thinking like an SEO content writer already. And this question is, there is no specific way to answer it. Maybe when we go into, when we will dive into SEO writing, you see what I mean. But it depends entirely on what strategy you're approaching. Now, the way I learned SEO content writing was to pursue an answer first approach. And it is the best way to actually do SEO content writing. You are supposed to create content that helps you as early on as possible. So what you can do is I think there's a keyword we chose. What's cocoa butter used for? A great strategy would be for you to first, like that could be your topic. What's the cocoa butter used for? And then in your intro section, you answer the question exactly. You know what? Let me use one of my old. Let me use one of. Sorry, okay. Sorry, I was supposed to. So, how to save money in Nigeria. This is. I'm flexing a little here. I'm sorry, guys. So I created. This is. You can see that Pigverse is ranking for this keyword, and it is a keyword we're very interested in ranking for, in being number one for. And you can see right now, Pigverse is number one. So I want to use it to explain, briefly explain, because I don't want to jump into SEO content writing just yet, or the content writing process just yet. I just want to answer your question. Now, how to save money in Nigeria, beginner's guide, blah, blah. Forget about topic. This topic, obviously, you can see the keyword we eventually settled on is this, but the original base keyword was save money. Then we expanded it even further to research to save money in Nigeria. Then we figured out that, okay, how to save money in Nigeria is a great short, long tail keyword to pursue. But in the end, the topic we settled on was this: how to save money in Nigeria, beginner's guide with tips from Odonayewini. And this is great because it's great because it both satisfies the algorithm, the keyword the algorithm knows the keyword we're interested in, and searchers or people that are looking for answers also know, okay, this is a beginner's guide with tips from somebody that they trust, or actually someone that they should expect to have lots of knowledge about saving. That's the CEO and co-founder of Pigverse, Odonayewini. So this is great. So what I do is, my strategy to writing great content or great SEO-centric content is to answer the question as soon as possible. So you can see here, straight up, I answer the question. You can save money in Nigeria by creating realistic saving budgets and blah, blah, blah. This is great. And that is a great strategy you can use when you are writing your own SEO content. Now, this might be, I don't want you guys to focus too much on it. Later, we'll dive exactly into the basics of this and how you can do that with your own content. But then it's basically a mix of both. You answer the questions immediately, then you infuse your answers into the rest of the content. So in the end, the rest of this content or this entire article focuses on how to save in Nigeria. So it shows you how to start saving money, where you should save money, the best stage to start saving money, the 30-day rule for saving money. Is it better to save or invest money? And practical tips for saving money in Nigeria. So it's basically a mix of both. You straight up answer the question, and you also infuse the question naturally into your content. So then in the end, your entire article answers the question and solves your your searcher's query, or answers your searcher's query. The juju in off-page SEO. There is no juju. Off-page SEO on its own is an entirely different field. Like I said, you have on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO. You learn it the same way you learn on-page SEO, the same way you learn technical SEO, the same way you learn off-page SEO. Yes, it's possible that you can see you can create a website last week and today is ranking for a low volume, long tail keywords. It's easy. It's very, very easy to rank for keywords with low volume. If a keyword is 10, barely anybody is searching for it. So, and if barely anybody is searching for it, most people that actually have most big businesses, most big websites are probably not even optimizing for it, or they're optimizing for it casually. And if you create your content and you focus on it, of course you rank for it. It's usually not even a skill issue. It's usually just a juju scam kind of situation. But yeah, so there is no juju per se in off-page SEO. You learn how off-page SEO works, and off-page SEO is very important. Links are very important. Things like social signals are very important, and they help improve your website's rankings as well. Crawling. Okay, I said I didn't want to focus on it. Amarachiko asked them, she said she has learned a lot about crawling. She still has no clue as to what it is. Can I walk you through it like a 5-year-old? Amarachiko, I advise that the course I shared, I advise that you just take the course. It's maybe even take I think there's one course there that explains crawling very well. And you could also just check out YouTube. I don't want us to go through it too long, but they are very great. Let me see if I can. I actually found one video. Let me see if I can. Actually, and Google also has a. Sorry, let me share it just for Amarachiko's sake. Okay, I'm going to share this. Okay, so check this out. This is straight from the horse's mouth. So you can check it out and just dive into how crawlers work and how crawling works. Okay, Aminat asked, in SEMrush, what percentage is good enough for the keyword search? Does it have to 100%? So basically in SEMrush, the higher the percentage, the harder it is, or the lower the probability that you rank for that keyword. So if you are seeing a keyword that is 100%, like the keyword difficulty is 100%, it is very unlikely, like it is almost impossible for you to rank for that keyword. You might rank, your juju might be strong, you might actually do it, but it is very unlikely. Yeah, so what you're always looking for is low to moderate keyword difficulty when you are, creating content. You don't want it to be too difficult. Unless maybe you're trying to challenge yourself, you want to show people that you sabi, you can go for like 70%. I created content that was like maybe 70 something percent one time. I was like number 2. I was like, me say by sabi, sure you get. So, but if you are at the beginning, it's always good that you start with low volume, low difficulty rather keywords, so that you up your chances. Okay, Antonio was basically just commenting. He said he understands that on-page and technical SEO isn't enough to start ranking on search engines, which is true, because domain authority, website authority, and number of backlinks is the most important thing to make it in today's search engine optimization bureau. I disagree. This is one thing that most. Sorry about that, guys. This is something that most. Sorry. I don't know, my village people are texting me. I won't answer them. So Anthony mentioned something very important, and this is something that most people are advised that you actually don't believe. domain authority is important. Domain authority, for people that don't know, domain authority, website authority, they're basically a function or basically a great way to highlight your off-page SEO efforts. The higher your domain authority, the stronger your off-page SEO efforts. Now, the truth is, all three things work hand in hand. Great websites, great technical SEO, great content, great backlinks, or great off-page SEO. They all work together for you to actually excel in search, or for your business or for your website to excel in search. Yes, if your off-page SEO is good, if your backlink profile is good, lots of people are linking to you, there's a higher chance that you rank. But if your content is actually also great, also satisfies like search queries very well, there's obviously a great chance that you also rank as well. If your technical SEO is good, like it's a play on everything, like everything working together. So it's not just one thing. You get Antonio. I think Antonio just Antonio is probably experienced in SEO, and yeah, I'll try my best to answer your question, Antonio. So Agada asked, how does one land a first job offer as a starter? Are there internships open for SEO content writers? Yes, actually. There are usually lots of internships, and I always tell people that the best way to learn SEO writing, technical SEO, off-page SEO, whatever SEO you're trying to learn, the best way to learn it is to actually do it. You see that's why at some point I stopped reading from slides and I opened SEMrush and Ahrefs and everything, because you cannot do SEO by just looking and observing. You learn SEO by being a part of it. Now, for me, the way I got my first job as an SEO in SEO was as an SEO content writer, because I actually started out as a regular writer. I was just a website, I wrote articles and everything. Then I got an offer from a friend. A friend actually first told me, "Oh, he's doing this and doing that." Then he gave me my first SEO writing gig. I didn't know it was SEO writing. He just told me, "Okay, do like this," and I did it. And the client loved it, and I was like, okay. Then afterwards, I got an offer from a content writing agency in the US, and then we started going deep into writing SEO centric content. And from there, I started also building my own skills on the side. And before I knew what was going on, I went from just being a regular writer to being an SEO writer, and I went from just being a regular SEO writer to being pretty good at my job, if I do say so myself. And yeah, so Antonio, so just to answer your question, Agada, there are lots of internship rules, but it might also be great for you to just start out. If you are already an SEO writer, you can read up on how SEO writing works, take some time to attend courses and platforms like this one, and from there, apply to jobs and just test your mind. That's the best way to do it. Shantani also said the best way of skills to use for off-page SEO, aka black hat SEO. Okay, I actually don't, because I usually focus on working as an SEO for brands, for businesses that that offer services, and for who their website is their business. I don't partake in black hat SEO practices. I'm not saying it's bad though, but I don't recommend that people. You can know how black hat SEO works, but I don't recommend that people partake in it, especially because Google is always changing so many things to their algorithms and stuff like that. So Oluwaseyi Oyadoku, sorry if I'm messing up your name. He said, for instance, cocoa butter that has a volume of 1.5K per month. My question is, when you use the keywords with high volume, how do you rank on the SERP when their website's already using them and they're already ranking on the SERP? That is where SEO comes into place. That is the exact, what you just said right now, Oluwaseyi, is the exact point of SEO. You create SEO-centric content, or you focus on SEO because you want to steal the position. You want to steal position from other people. Yes, other people are there. Some of them are even focusing on SEO already. But you want to create your content. You want to optimize your website. You want to partake in off-page practices that take them away from there. I've taken positions, or I've written content that took positions from website that I've been there for months. Some of them have been there for years, and I created content and it took me to the top. And I was like, all of you, I'm better than you. My client is better than you. We win. You get. So it's all jokes, but that is the exact point of SEO. Sorry. That is where SEO content writers come into place. You create finely tuned content that satisfies what searchers are looking for, that satisfies what Google is willing to put at the top, or at least on the first page. And then that's also where technical SEO comes in. So you create a website that is great, that the user experience is great. Everything is perfect. Same thing with pages too. People are linking to it. Your profile is looking good. The algorithm sees you as an authority. But I think you understand this better when we dive into exactly how SEO content writing works. So you can see that it's great that I actually went into keyword research. If I just jump into content writing, we'll just be deceiving ourselves without understanding where we're coming from. So, Olatunde Mustafa, how do you distribute keywords across an article from the topic itself to the keyword? I will explain this in detail when we dive into SEO content writing. But what you should also right now is that the best way to do SEO content writing, the best way to distribute keywords is naturally. There is no trick. There is no put one here, number of keywords. Best way to do it is to do it naturally. So I just wanted to know that. And okay, Viotin was trying to explain crawling. Yeah, that's great. Temilua again asked, I struggle a little with knowing the number of keywords to use throughout the blog post and number of times to use it so it stays perfectly in between having naturally infused keywords and also ranking. So how do you determine the number of keywords to use all the way? So like I said, as an SEO content writer, you actually always start with a keyword. You always start like I said, explained before, you could start with, let's say, cocoa butter. Maybe that's the keyword you are optimizing for. Before, if this was like 10 years ago, you usually had to write your keywords in the content a certain number of times, like maybe 20 times, or it has to be like, there's something called keyword density. That's the number of keywords, number of times the keyword appears compared to number of words in the entire article. And then before you see it has to be like 1% or 10%. But the truth is that in today's landscape, in SEO today, keyword density does not matter. All that matters is naturally infused keywords. Your keyword doesn't have to show up 10 times or 5 times or 2 times. Your keyword might only show up once, and that article will rank number 1. What matters above all is user intent. Does this content you are creating, does it satisfy what searchers are looking for? Do you understand, Temilua? So what I would advise that you don't do is try to put so much keywords, or try to say, okay, you're trying to put, say, 20 keywords, or 20, you want your keywords to appear 20 times in a 2,000 word article. Stay away from that. It's not helpful. In the end, your article will seem spammy, both to the algorithm as well as to users. So I know some people might be a little lost right now. It's cool. It's fine. All of us always start out lost and confused, but in the end, we become very knowledgeable. I just want you to try and listen and follow along as you can. When we dive into SEO content writing deeply, you understand most of the things I'm saying right now. Okay. Chi Emena Oyoziri. I'm so sorry I'm mispronouncing your name. So he says, let's say I work for a fintech company. Where do I write an SEO content that can help their website? On the company's website or on a separate blog? So yeah, I might have glossed about one thing. Now, most of the kind of SEO I've been talking about is actually content-focused SEO. Content-focused SEO means you are creating articles that rank. Obviously, there's also SEO copywriting, where if you go to, okay, let's check this out. Let's go to a company like Flutterwave. Let's go to a company like Flutterwave. My network is behaving. Okay. So just to answer Chimena's question rather, he said, let's say it works for a fintech company. Where do I write an SEO content that can help their website, on the company's website or on a separate blog? On the company's website is always a great way to start, because obviously you're trying to direct traffic to your company's website. If you write on a separate blog and traffic is going to that blog, and then you're trying to redirect the traffic, maybe with link to the company's blog, it's counterintuitive. So it's best that the company itself has their own blog. So if you go to a company like Flutterwave, for example, you can see that they have a blog. So you can see that they have a blog, the Flutterwave blog, and from there you can create your content and around it. But also, you notice that Flutterwave also, if you check their landing page, if you check most businesses, their web pages are also optimized for search. They include certain keywords to ensure that rank for for those keywords. So let me dive in. What should an SEO content strategy look like? What should be considered? Sorry, give me a sec. Sorry about that. Okay, so what should an SEO content strategy look like? What should be considered? So Iwalola, I'm actually this question is long, and because this class is mostly for beginners, I will not answer the question. Maybe later in the future, maybe you can beg non-tech in tech. We should do something later. We can go into actually how to craft a comprehensive SEO strategy because, yeah. So I'm not going to answer it because it's a lot. But thank you so much for your question, and beg Usman that he should bring me up. They should bring me here another time because I would actually love to go into SEO content strategy. So Lua Shogun said he just started his online business and he's curious if you should try to optimize for your business name as I optimize around for keywords around for my business name too. Lua Shogun, the best way to do it is to do both. Optimize for your business name and also optimize for keywords that are related to your business. You can do both. You don't have to actually just focus on one thing. That is the beautiful thing about SEO. Check. Let's go back to my example. If you Google something like how PiggyVest works, for example, if you go down, you can see that PiggyVest is ranking for. You can see that PiggyVest is ranking for. I hope you can see. Yeah, you can see that PiggyVest is ranking for the keyword, and it has their brand name in it. How does PiggyVest work? How to use PiggyVest and other related terms. So it's always good that you more or less mix things together. You more or less will naturally rank for your business name, but it's also always a good idea to actually also create content around your own business. Take the initiative, win early. Temitope said, how do backlinks work? Do you ask other websites to link your articles or do you do it voluntarily? Both. You can reach out to people and beg them. I'm actually very sorry. You can beg them and say, please, I've written great content. You people, your website is great. And I noticed that you put an example about, let's say, okay, let's assume you're writing a post about top finance or maybe financial trends in Nigeria, and then you include things like savings apps and everything, and then you notice that maybe PiggyVest wrote something about CBN or something, and maybe it's just related to what you wrote, and they made an example. You can just reach out to the PiggyVest team, maybe they're SEO writer like me, or you reach out to their marketing leader and say, I noticed that your content is great and your website is big, and you wrote something that is similar to something I wrote. Can you just, link me, and if your petition is good and they are fine with it, they'll usually do it for free. But you can also pay people, which is not a great idea, if I'm being honest. But you can also pay people to actually link to their website, like link your content to their website. There are so many ways to it. And if your content is great, there are articles that naturally you just add. You as a writer, the articles are naturally you just add to your to whatever piece you're working on, like without anybody asking you, because maybe it's great. So it can be paid. You can ask them, or you can do it voluntarily. And there are also other ways to do it, like Aru has helped a reporter out, stuff like that. So Anna Olufayo asked rather that what should you look out for when your website position starts dropping? This is a great question, and I'll answer it because it's it's very important. So let me look for. I actually did share. Sorry, I want to share a resource because someone asked me this question a few weeks ago, and I shared. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, can I find it? Why is my network being weird? Okay, I can't find it right now. But one of the things you want to first look out for is you want to go into Google Search Console and analyze where, where the drop is coming from. Like, so sometimes your website position or maybe an article that's been ranking before start dropping in position. It might just be because the user intent, the search intent has shifted. Maybe before people were interested in looking for information. Now people are interested in making purchases. You might need to update your content. So you might need to do a little bit of SERP analysis. Use SERP analysis is very, very important, guys. As an SEO writer, don't play with it. So you might need to do some SERP analysis. You might need to use Google Search Console to check out the data that, okay, what exactly is happening. And you also need to use SEMrush to get some insights into which articles are going down, which ones aren't. Are there free keyword search tools? Are they as effective as paid keyword search tools like SEMrush? Yes, there are. There is, let me share one. Search building. There are free ones, but the issue with free keyword research tools is that they are not usually as accurate. That's the truth. And I'm trying to find one. Sorry. Uber suggest. Okay, so Uber suggest is one. Okay. So Uber suggest is one. You can check out Uber suggest. There are other free tools. But I'll be very honest with you. If you're not using a paid tool, it's very unlikely that you get great um, insight or great data. Like they might give you, you might get some insight. Like no, all data like, information is always good. It's always good to have data, but it might not be as accurate as you want it to be. But even if you don't have accurate data, like I said, if you do SERP analysis, like I showed you how to do, it can give you insights into what is going on in your website. And insights are better than nothing as an SEO writer. And even when we start going into SEO content writing itself, we'll see how SERP analysis can help you create great SEO centric content. So you're not just creating content that everybody else is creating, and it's just like, waiting for this. So, V. Otin said, this is a bit off topic. How does one transition from being an SEO writer to a marketer? So someone told a couple of months ago, I think this was during a moonshot last year, I was speaking to Amma Udofa. I think he's marketing manager at Grey right now. Amma is an amazing, amazing marketer. He's one of the people I look up to in the industry. And he mentioned that we're having a very brief conversation. And I told him that, oh, I actually went from being a content writer to being an SEO writer. And it has been like a very big shift. Because the truth is, as an SEO writer, you're already a marketer, you're already in marketing. Sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Okay, if I think you're muted now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Sorry, I think MTN is being weird again. So I'll try to slow down. So if you're a writer, if you're an SEO writer, you're already a marketer, and because you're already involved in, you're trying to drive sales or build brand awareness, and at the very core, regardless of any definition people tell you, marketers are there to drive sales and improve brand awareness. That is what they're there to. Like their specific role might be complicated, might be more, but if you're an SEO writer, you're already a marketer. So a great pipeline is always to go from SEO writer to content marketer. Because if you are an SEO writer and you're involved in a lot of SEO activities, it's always a great opportunity for you to just take a little bit of a turn and slide into content marketing. Then from content marketing, you can go into product marketing, or you can just go from SEO writing and slide into product marketing. So that is Great. Anna Olufayo. Also, how do you write content when your competitors are directories like Saltlist, Jumia? Is it a losing game or is there a chance? So it depends on the keyword you're looking for. See, in the end, everything boils down to this is why it's always great to know the basics as an SEO writer, because the truth is that everything boils down to the keyword you're writing for. Take that cocoa butter that we searched for example. You see that most of the content that we're ranking were informative content because people were looking for information. Now, if you imagine you Google a particular keywords and a particular keyword other, and most of your results are around directions, like how to get here, or you are seeing maps, you are seeing videos. In the end, you might realize that creating written content might not help. It might not be a great way to solve the problem because nobody's clicking that. For example, if I'm trying to go from my house to VI and then I'm seeing article, what I want this article do? Like, what will help me straight up is for me to actually see either map directions. Maybe if you have your own map app, and you're competing in Google, no problem. that helps. Or say I'm selling something. Now this is very important. Let's say I'm selling shirts. I'm going to make this example because a couple of weeks ago I was bored and I googled t-shirts, men's t-shirts. And usually I don't know. I was just let me even see what's going on in Nigeria. And I googled men's t-shirts and then Gam Sports. I think they were number 2 or number 3. And I ended up making a purchase from them. And the way I ended up making a purchase, the search results was not an article, but actually linked me to their e-commerce site. It took me to their page where all that was there was men's t-shirts. So in the end, you might be creating. It's important that you do SRP analysis and you actually also do comprehensive keyword research, so that you see that okay, this keyword I'm optimizing for, I want to write about. Is it content related? Is it e-commerce focused? Is it maybe another app that work for it, or is it video? If you do SRP analysis, you get an insight into what works and what doesn't work, and whether it's actually a losing game. So, like Anna, the best way to answer your question is that it depends. There are certain keywords that even if you see directories like ranking for it, and you see e-commerce websites ranking for it, it might help if you create content. Your content that you create might not directly rank for that keyword, but to help your entire website rank as your. I think does that answer your question? Yes. Please, okay, Vilton was asking, thanks for answering this. Can you recommend any course, something I can put you in part to content marketing? Yes. Check out HubSpot. Let me share it. There's HubSpot content marketing course. Sorry, I'm always Googling everything. I'll share the link now. So this course is 100% free. And why is this not loading?
I'm hungry.
Sorry guys, please let's remember to mute our mic. So I'm hungry as well. Yeah. So I think, does anyone have any question? So I was actually talking to Usman, and we decided that the best thing we can do right now is to save our time, because I was not expecting that we'll use up to 2 hours, and this has been almost 2 hours. So what we'll do is, this week we've covered everything that has to do with keyword research. We've gone through questions. We know how search engines work, and we'll schedule another day. I don't know if it's going to be next Saturday or I think it's going to be upper Saturday. I think since we're already on Telegram, I think it's very easy for us to share information, and I think Usman will have more information. So upper Saturday, we're going to go into SEO content writing itself. It's going to be a 2-hour long session, and we'll take the time to we'll go over exactly how to create content around. So we'll start from everything. Since we've done keyword research, we'll start from typing your topic, to doing research, to finding subheadings that work, to crafting the content in such a way that it actually ranks. Because most people, you don't see a lot of information that do this, do that, but how exactly does it work? And in next class, I'm going to actually like dive into it in detail, and Usman will have more information. But let me answer a couple of questions. Vilton was asking, how can I apply or intern for marketing roles? So you're on the right platform, because non-tech in tech is actually a great platform. You're looking for um, opportunities, you're looking for mentors, if you're looking for more information about marketing and basically anything non-tech tech related. And it's very interesting because you can ask anyone for help. And if you are looking for, I think, you know what, I'm going to let Usman answer that question. But if you're looking to apply your intern marketing roles, you can either reach out to companies by yourself or be part of communities like non-tech in tech, and they will really, really help you. Another question: how do you use content to make a new website rank? So I'm going to answer this briefly because I want to make sure I'm not spending too much time. So the best way is actually to create a very solid SEO content strategy. Anna, if your content strategy is great and you start out by making sure your technical SEO, your website technical SEO is great, it is top notch. Next is to create a comprehensive SEO strategy and actually start content creation. It is the thing I didn't mention about SEO is that SEO is, it might take a while for you to see results, but the results usually compound long term, because for most SEO strategies, you might not see results until like 3 to 6 months. But when those results start showing, and if you stay consistent, you will see results for a long time. So I hope that answers the question, Anna. Emmanuel wanted to ask a question. Okay, I think that's asking. So Chinedu was asking, Samuel Chinedu rather, will Google's AI affect informational content? Yes, it will. It will. Google AI overview and Gemini and basically AI as a whole will affect search in so many ways. Because I don't know if most people actually checked out the premiere for Gemini and basically Google's latest Google I/O that they did. I think that was a couple of days ago. Search is going to change dramatically, but the truth is that the basics will always apply. So for informational content, that's content that you're looking for specific information, nothing more. Like what is Agbado? You're not looking to make purchases, you're not looking to anything. Those content might actually be cannibalized by AI overview, yes. But the truth is, SEO as a whole is not going anywhere. And even me personally, I was thinking of writing an article about this, but I'm always too busy these days. But the truth is, when it comes to, excuse me, I'm a little distracted. When it comes to AI and SEO, SEO is going to even be more important, in my own opinion, because you're going to see search even showing up in more places. Because before, where people were only interacting with search or search engines through or like google.com, you are seeing that Gemini is going to be, or at least not just AI, but even Gemini, things like ChatGPT, they're going to be part of basically every single app out there. So people are not just Googling one thing, they're using voice search, they're using video search, they're using screen search, and so many things are going on that search engine optimization writers and creators and whatever it is you want to call them, they'll be even more involved in helping companies, win a share of these eyeballs, because more and more people will be involved with their phones and involved with these AI bots. Okay, Emmanuel said, I talked about SEO, using SEO to contribute to business goals in this session. How do you track the impact of SEO to assign business goals? Besides traffic, readership, and brand building, how do you contribute and track how SEO is impacting what is important to the business's bottom line metrics like revenue? This is an amazing question, Emmanuel, like very, very important, because most people think SEO is just about ranking, and I usually see lots of writers be like, or SEO writers be like, I'm ranking, and they upload it, which is great. Please don't whine yourself. If you're an SEO writer already and you create content and ranks, it is a very big deal. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It is not easy, and you're doing very well. But you must also remember that, like I said, as an SEO writer, you are already in the field of marketing. And if you're in the field of marketing, you should already be thinking as a marketer and thinking about bottom lines and even up lines, if that makes sense, or top lines. I think there's a word like top lines, yeah. Um, but yeah, so how do you track it? The way to track it actually is to first set out business goals. Actually, like if you notice during my class, I started from us starting with the business to going to the topic. The truth is that you actually have to first start out with business goals before bringing SEO into the mix. You don't throw in SEO and then you start saying, okay, well, we've thrown in SEO. What should I do? What am I looking for? I'm looking for sales. No. So the way SEO works is that you have already set out goals. Okay, your goal might be okay. Right now we're on 500. We're on 500 visitors per day. I want us to reach 60,000 visitors per day, which is a lot. Then you take time. Okay, it's going to take us about 1 year, 2 years to do it. Can we do it? Can we not do it? And you work on an SEO strategy. You employ SEO writers like you guys are hoping to be, and then you achieve your goals. And yeah, so the way to track it, obviously, use tracking tools like Google Search Console, SEMrush. Those give you insight into the metrics you are choosing to measure. So the popular metrics you choose to measure in SEO are usually organic traffic, clicks, not even ranking, crazily, organic traffic, clicks, keywords, backlinks, domain authority, and yeah, some other. In our next class, I'll actually even dive into that in detail. So before I I give the mic back to Usman and thank him very much for bringing me here. Do we have more questions? Because I really would like to answer as many questions as I can. Do we have any more questions, guys? Okay, I think that is all. Usman, you can. I surrender the mic, sir.
But thank you very, very much. I'm sure everyone here has learned one thing or the other. Me, I've learned like not one, not two. I've learned a lot. To be fair. My book is full right now. So thank you very much for creating the time to join us today. I am grateful, and I'm sure everyone here is also grateful. Okay, you pushed some questions to me. And okay, let me try my best to answer them. So when it comes to job hunting, I think one thing that people realize how powerful it is, but at the same time they don't do enough to leverage on it is the power of referrals. Because if someone is vouching for you that, oh, okay, this person is good at this job, it's like skipping the first stage of it's like skipping the entire interview process entirely. And why am I mentioning referrals? It's good to put yourself out there. Like it's very good. Like, oh, I'm writing this, I'm designing this, I'm working on this. Sharing your work, it brings extra into what you're doing. So that's like a very good thing. But at the same time, you cannot compare someone like telling maybe their manager that, oh, I know someone who is a good SEO writer that I think should join our team. Like that's like they're coming to poach you. Even if you don't have a job, they're literally coming to poach you because someone has vouched for your ability. So I think one thing is when you join communities, if you're part of communities, try to volunteer, because what volunteering does is it gives you a chance to show what you can do. Basically, I know, say everybody's looking for money. I'm not going to lie to you. We have bills, so all of us want to eat out of this tech money. But if you get a chance to volunteer in a place that would allow you to learn, like, because learning is like, it's easy to learn and fail and have the chance to just do it over and over again than learning on the job. See, learning on the job, in a place where you're getting paid for the job you're doing is hard. Because when people hire you, they hire you so you can bring results. So whatever it is you say you are good at, they just want to see the result that, okay, you are working. This is the amount of downloads, this is the amount of sales, this is the amount of whatever it is you're bringing. That's, to be fair, to an extent, that's what any company that hires you, that's what they care about. But if, let's say, you are interning or you are volunteering for an organization, they understand the fact that, this person, the major reason why people volunteer is, one, either to give back or to sharpen their skill. So there's more room for you to make mistake and like just basically make mistake, learn that, you've made a mistake and just correct this mistake you've made. So in essence, what I'm saying is, if you have the chance to volunteer, please and please don't think about the money. I know money is important, very important, but if you have the chance, please take it. Because if, let's say, for instance, you volunteer and you do a good job, even if like it's not to the extent you want, but you do like a good job that, okay, there's a visible effect of what you did, and someone is trying to hire and they reach out to, okay, so for instance, now at NTIT we have a couple of volunteers, and at the same time we have a couple of, should I say, partner companies. So what happens is, when partner companies reach out that, NTIT, Usman, we are hiring for, let's say, a product marketing role, for instance. What we do first of all is, internally we look at like either people that have contributed to, like, we check our volunteer circle initially, like, is there anybody that is fit for this role that we can recommend that, this person is going to do a good job? Because hiring is a very hard process. Like, if you put out a call for applications that, you want to hire for XYZ now, before the end of the day, you probably have about 1,000 entries. And it's a very hard thing to go through 1,000 resumes, have to filter out the ones that you won't interview. Then after getting the ones you interview, proceeding to the interview stage, like some companies will do about 4 rounds of interviews. Imagine moving from like 1,000 people, applicants, to just hire one person. So it's very stressful for even companies themselves. So what referral does is, it cuts like this step into two. So if someone reaches out now that, hi Usman, we are hiring for XYZ role, and I basically just say, okay, is there someone that I know that, okay, they can do this kind of thing? Say for instance, someone say, I want to hire a content marketer. I have seen Ife's work. I know Ife is a very good content marketer. I'm going to steal Ife from Piggy West, yeah. But it's the kind of budget I can say, I know this person. He's not ready to leave, but if you give him like 10 million a month or $10,000 a month, he'll make the move. And I'm vouching for him in that instance. And the only reason why I can do that is because I have seen proof of his work, and I know that, okay, he's good at what he does. So what I'm saying is, if you get the chance, volunteer. If and in a situation where you're unable to volunteer, put your work out there. Like, there's something we also do at NTIT where we feature people's work on our newsletter. Say you are a writer, then you write something, then you share it with the NTIT community. We look at like these articles, for instance, and we feature it on like our blog, our newsletter, sorry, when we send it out. The reason why we do this is because we know that cultivating an audience can be very hard. And in as much as sometimes we say these things are vanity metrics, people tend to talk down on people that are very numbers focused, that why you not happy because people are not viewing what you're reading. But it takes a lot of mental strength to like correct. And after writing, it takes like hitting that publish button itself is hard work. So we try to feature these articles as much as possible, and it's just to basically spotlight writers. So if you don't share what you are working on, if you don't share what you know, like it's kind of putting you in a box. Okay, you know this thing, but people don't know you know it. So if people don't know that you know this thing, there is no way they can share opportunities with you. I don't know if that makes sense, because if you say you're a content writer, only you know that you're a content writer. And I know somebody that is trying to hire a junior content writer, for instance, but I don't know you're a content writer. How am I going to recommend you? So another thing is to network. So that is why we have communities. That's like basically what the community is supposed to be there for. The community allows you to network with others. Networking with others means interacting with them, answering their questions, asking questions that you have. Say, for instance, you have an interview and like you just need someone to prepare with. What the community does is if you say, oh, I'm having an interview tomorrow and I need somebody that can maybe just like basically ask me possible questions, that kind of thing. It provides you with a form of support, or if part of your interview process is because some interview process comes with you what's it called? You carrying out tasks. Sorry, I muted myself. So if that's like part of your interview process, you can reach out to the community. You're not asking them to help you do it. You're just asking for guide, because what you're trying to do, someone somewhere has done this before. Like, it's a very common thing with engineers, for instance. They usually say, oh, what you're looking for. An Indian guy on YouTube has answered the question before, or someone on Stack Overflow has answered the question before. So you being in community provides you with people all around you that have either been in your position or will be in your position soon, and it gives you a chance to give back and to receive from people that are trying to give back, basically. So thank you everyone for joining today. We will be bringing back Ifeoluwa in about 2 weeks' time to complete the session, in which you go more in depth into essay writing. So for the next session, just to ensure that everyone that would be joining us for that session are actually people that are really, really interested in what we are doing. It's a closed session. So basically, in order to gain access to that session, you must have attended this first session. And the way to gain access is basically making a post either on Twitter or on LinkedIn, talking about at least one thing or your experience from this first session. So it can be a feedback, it can be something you learned, anything at all. That's basically like just what you need to join the next session. So when you make the post, you can tag at non-tech in tech, and if you I'll share the both handles. So yeah, that'll be all. Thank you very much everyone for joining, and once again, non-tech in tech is a community for everybody in tech, in non-engineering roles. Thank you everyone. See you in 2 weeks' time. Have a great day. Bye.